everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Barb Englehart Carter. I'm the agent owner for Farm Bureau Insurance Agency, and I'm the 2018 Chair of the Board of Directors of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. I would like to thank you for joining all of us at the 135th annual meeting for our beautiful Bay Area, the past, present, and future. 135 years. It's really hard to imagine this organization has been around that long. At this time, I would like you to stand, and we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Leadership Bay County Class of 2018, their silent auction will close at 6:30. That's 30 minutes from now. At this time, I would like to introduce John Mueller from Choice Office Products. I'd like to introduce him to the stage, and he's going to give our invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity tonight to gather for the Chamber annual meeting. Thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon this community in the past. We thank you for our strong community and business leaders, and ask that you continue to be with our Chamber leadership as they move our Bay Area forward. Thank you for the food we are about to receive. We ask that you bless this food so that it nourishes us both physically and spiritually. These things we ask in your name. Amen. At this time, dinner is going to be served at your tables by the Doubletree staff, and we will reconvene our meeting at 6:30.
Tonight we have our Leadership Bay County class who's running the silent auction in the hallways. And here to present a check from the Consumers Energy Foundation is Mary Kluwer with the Area Community Affairs Manager.
I just wanted, Ryan, I have about 20 minutes or so, right? On behalf of Consumers Energy, we just are very happy to support the project that Leadership Bay County selected, not only because we have two fabulous Consumers Energy employees that have worked on the leadership class, Molly Niemeyer and Sean Kelly, but certainly they're part of a very dynamic group that has selected the Camp Fishtails, developing a sensory room to help provide opportunities for children with disabilities. Certainly this was a great project because it really gives, Camp Fishtails offers kids the opportunity to gain some confidence and really have a wonderful opportunity to really enjoy recreation and all the other things that every other kid can enjoy. And the sensory room is going to fill a gap that's very sustainable, that fills a very sustainable need that was very much needed at Camp Fishtails, and we're just very happy to support that. So on behalf of Consumers Energy, I want to present this check for $5,000 for Camp Fishtails sensory room.
My name is Kate Hoffman. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of our Leadership Bay County class of 2018. Hopefully you've heard about our sensory room we'll be building. It's actually kind of grown in its scope. It's now going to be a sensory cabin. So it's a really great long-term addition. The generous donations of our many sponsors have allowed us to kind of grow what we're going to be doing. So I want to thank all of them. Of course, Consumers Energy. It's going to be called the Consumers Energy Sensory Room, so we're very happy to have their support. We had 3 gold sponsors who gave $3,000. The Leadership Bay County alumni class of 2017 had a change in scope to their project. They had leftover funds, so they contributed $3,000 to our project. We had support from McLaren Bay Region, Northwoods Wholesale Outlet. Those were our gold sponsors, and then we had a number of silver sponsors at $1,000 each. So the Bay Area Community Foundation, Catholic Federal Credit Union, Chemical Bank, Firehouse Soft Car Wash, Frank's Great Outdoors, Garber Linwood, Bob and Joyce Hetzler, Independent Bank, Labadie Auto, Northern Concrete Pipe, SC Johnson & Son, Inc., Serenus Johnson, and also Winelander Fitzhugh. So thank you so much to all the members of our community, whether you've donated as a sponsor, some companies were able to give a smaller amount that we're still so grateful to have, whether you've bid on our silent auction items, all of that money contributes to our sensory room. And the auction will be open until 6:30, so your clock is ticking on your bid. So if you need to go out there and babysit your bid, you've got a couple more minutes. You can also donate or join our raffle to win the array of wine items on the table. So we hope you'll do that before 6:30. So thank you all for your support.
Thank you everyone again for joining us for the 135th annual meeting for the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. I would like to thank the DoubleTree for their exceptional service tonight. How about a round of applause for them? You may have also noticed a photographer duo, Adam and Lori Carroll from Harbor Light Photography. Thank you so much for taking some memories for us. And ImageWorks for providing our sound and display throughout the program tonight. I also would like you to notice on the table, a big thank you to Dave Dittenberg. We have candy from the past, present, and future. I'd like you to stuff your purses and your pockets and take those home to your children so that we don't have to have past candy in the present, because we will see it again if you don't take it home. Now I would like to introduce Dick Fortin, if he could please come up to the stage. Dick is the Senior Account Manager for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and he is one of our featured sponsors this evening.
Thanks, Barb. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Bay Area Chamber for the opportunities, the partnership, and the opportunities that partnership gives Blue Cross to be a part of the Bay Area community. We've had a partnership with the Chamber for a number of years. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many years that is. Maybe someone in the audience does, Jesse? But 20 plus. 20 plus, okay. So that's in the past. Speaking of in the past, chances are most of you, your parents or your grandparents, have probably had Blue Cross Blue Shield at one time or another. And I'm just here to tell you that the Blue Cross of your grandfather's age is not the Blue Cross of today. And along those lines, I'm going to talk a little bit about some programs that Blue Cross has that I call under the radar. You don't really see them all the time, but they're there and they help communities quite a bit. The first two I'd like to just mention are Building Healthy Communities and Stepping Up for Wellness. These are two school-based programs that Blue Cross has in concert with a number of other organizations that help kids develop habits in the way of diet and exercise so that they build healthy habits for life. Another program that we have is one called Strengthening the Safety Net. And this is a program that distributes grants to a number of free and low-cost clinics throughout the state so that the uninsured and the underinsured can have access to quality health care. In addition, one of the newest programs that we're working on is one involving fighting the opioid epidemic. As you may know, this is it's not a Michigan-based problem, it's a national-based problem. So we're working with a number of our providers and community organizations to try and curtail what, again, is a large problem. The last program I'd like to talk about is one called Value Partnerships. It's a program that we have with our providers, and in this program we work with them to improve medical procedures and processes with the goal of delivering more efficient and cost-effective health care for all the citizens of Michigan. And what I mean there is that when we find something that works better, we don't keep it for Blue Cross subscribers, that goes to all the providers. Many of you may be familiar with Will Rogers. He's I call him an American philosopher. And one of the quotes I like from Will Rogers is, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. And so moving forward in the future, Blue Cross will not be sitting there. We will innovate. Blue Cross will continue to develop new products, programs, and processes that enhance the delivery and cost effectiveness of health care. We'll collaborate. We'll work with our community partners, which includes providers as well as agents, to bring these new innovations to the market. And a lot of these providers and agents are your fellow chamber members. They're here tonight. And finally, we'll integrate. We'll integrate these new endeavors with current practices to ensure that Michigan citizens are receiving cutting-edge health care. Once again, I'd like to, on behalf of Blue Cross, thank the Chamber and the Bay Area community for the partnership we have and the opportunities it gives Blue Cross to leave a positive impact across the region. I'd also like to congratulate all the winners of tonight's awards before I leave. And finally, leave you with this thought. Every day, wake up in the morning and make it a healthy day. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dick Fortin. At this time, I would like to introduce Eric Gila, our Masters of Ceremony for tonight's program. Let's give Eric a round of applause.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Barb. Well, hello, Chamber members. We have more than 400 people here for the dinner tonight. I think you should give yourselves a round of applause for showing your support for our business community. That's more people than we have for the breakfast, and those of you that do come to the Friday morning breakfast know that one of my big responsibilities is to thank the sponsors. So I want to thank our sponsors for your Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. These are the people that are there year-round, and we couldn't do what we do without their support. They are First State Bank, Absolute Building Maintenance, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Chemical Bank, Consumers Energy, Covenant Healthcare, Cumulus Media, Digital Mitten, Doubletree by Hilton, Bay City Riverfront, the Dow Chemical Company, Financial Edge Credit Union, Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, Great Lakes Federal Credit Union, Huntington Bank, the Independent Bank, McLaren Bay Region, Michigan Sugar Company, MLive Media Group, which for us is the Bay City Times, MyBayCity.com, Spence Brothers, Three Rivers Corporation, Thumb Bank and Trust, Wildfire Credit Union, and WNEM TV5. Let's give them all a round of applause for being our premier sponsors. And of course, as you know, we have event sponsors tonight. I will refer you to your program, and you'll be hearing from some of our main sponsors as we go through the evening. But they are Andrews Hooper Pavlik PLC, Bay County Growth Alliance, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Frankenmuth Credit Union, ITC Holdings, Monthrop Cliff Incorporated, and Winelander Fitzhugh. Let's give our event sponsors a round of applause. Now it's my joy to introduce Chris Velasquez, the Community Relations Associate Director for the Dow Chemical Company. He is our second featured sponsor to present to us this evening. Chris?
So I'm not the Associate Corporate Communications. That's Heather Gallegos, and she couldn't be here tonight, but I will try to fill her shoes, but the lovely and wonderful Heather could not be here. But it is a pleasure for me to represent my colleagues at Dow, both the men and women of Dow and the folks sitting here with us. And thanks for that kind introduction, Eric. She did give me a whole page here. I'm going to try not to read it all, but I am going to try and give you a few updates. There's been a little bit of activity at Dow, if you haven't noticed, over the last couple of years, starting with the acquisition of Dow Corning, and that's how I joined the Dow family, is through that. And now through the Dow-DuPont merger. Some key things that have been announced lately. Dow and DuPont are operating business as usual right now. They are keeping those heritage names so as not to disrupt the market that much. If you've seen what's been announced, there will be 3 companies that come out of the Dow-DuPont merger. One will be the Material Science Company, and that will be the Dow Chemical Company. So we will emerge as the Materials Company. The Specialty Chemical Company will be DuPont. And the third, the Ag Company, will be Corteva. So I always want to say Corteva, but we've learned today, say, what's the saying? Corteva forever. So there's actually really good meaning behind the word Corteva. It means heart and nature, the heart of nature. So it's a great name for a third company. All 3 of these companies are set up to be leaders in their industry. So they are going to be strong companies, and that is the intent as we go forward. For the Dow Chemical Company, you may have also seen that Jim Fitterling has been announced to be the CEO. So that's a great announcement for those of us in the Great Lakes Bay region. Andrew Liveris will be retiring after 14 years of outstanding leadership of the company. So you might ask, what do these changes mean for the Great Lakes Bay region? And rest assured, really, I think it means the same. We are going to continue to be a strong partnership, a strong partner for the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce like we have always been, and our people will continue to give of their time, talent, and treasure right here in the region. So with that, let me congratulate all the award recipients. It's a great and phenomenal group, and thank you all for the time.
Obviously, we couldn't do what we do without the help of elected officials. And we want to recognize the elected officials who are in the room tonight. I've seen some city commissioners, some county commissioners. So if you'd all rise, please. Any township people? Yep, there's people standing up. So let's thank our elected officials. Jim Barsha in the back of the room. Thank you for attending this evening. And I want to welcome back to the podium for our next presentation, Barb Engelhardt Carter.
Hello again. I would like to share some thoughts with you. This will be a year of change for our Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. We're moving toward the 21st century chamber model. As your chairman of the board of directors, I would like to report we are laying the groundwork for our organization to be cutting edge, a popular word tonight, and nimble as a strong chamber model for the future. My father, who's going to celebrate his 93rd birthday this June, was talking the other day about a mainframe computer that he referred to as Big Iron. He worked for General Electric, and in his office building there was a room that held this huge mainframe. He described it as generating so much heat that the room was kept air-conditioned year-round, and it required a winter coat to work in the room. My mom joined the conversation and recalled entering the room and hearing the feeling that electricity was all around you and you could hear it. And she also mentioned that they were told not to worry, it was perfectly safe. And to her credit, she'll be 85 in April. At my corporate Farm Bureau office in Lansing, there's an area that once held a vintage mainframe computer, and it was converted to a workout room and gym facility that 500 employees have access to. You know, talk about profound change, you know, where our computers have gone thus far. There's a second image that I would like shown. This is of a modern iPhone 7. Ironically, this is the model I have. Technology is definitely advancing, and it's doing so at a rapid pace. A modern smartphone definitely completes with the vintage supercomputers of the past. Today, your cell phone has more power than the NASA back in 1969 when it placed 2 astronauts on the moon. It's pretty amazing to think about that. While moving forward toward a strong chamber model for the future, we need to consider many influences. We need to consider the nature of gathering and belonging. Let's adjust programming to meet the styles of the next generations of members. We need to consider communication and technology. Speed will double by the year 2025. Let's customize messages based on motivation of members, then review and tweak for maximum impact. Let's consider scarcity and abundance. Let's be a lead in the workforce and economic development discussions. Be on the front line of potential change. Let's consider global impact. Let's create strategies to embrace diversity and talk about our differences. Let's consider population shift, integrate programs for young professionals, broaden our volunteer base. Let's consider political and social fragmentation. Have the chamber hold forums for different sides to talk it out. Get involved in state and local policy and stay above the politics. And let's consider catalytic leadership. Chamber needs to be the place-making focus. The chamber needs to be conveners. They can be conveyors too. They want to be a go-to organization, a center for assistance for business. We want our Bay Area Chamber of Commerce to be like your cell phones. You feel lost without it. We've all done it. We leave home without our cell phone and you feel like you've lost an appendage, your arm, your leg. We are striving for engagement of all of our members. We want more attendance, more investment, more volunteering, more referring of new members. This year is going to be a change for our Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Okay, so now I'd like to switch into one of the real reasons we're here, to recognize the following very important retiring directors. I would like to ask you to come to the stage, and if you could come to the left side and then enter off the right so that you can go out into the hallway for a photo. Our first is Dr. Jean Goodenow from Delta College. Mike Hanisco from Winelander-Fitzhugh, and also the 2016 Chairman of the Board of Directors. My heel almost went through the hole in the stage. That would not have been pretty. Chelsea Wieland, Independent Bank. Thank you for your time and commitment. So, here I am. Right now, I would like to recognize our immediate past chairman of the board, Mike Stodolak, Senior Vice President for Independent Bank. And Eric, welcome back to the podium.
And my job now is to invite for the presentation of the 2017 Ambassador of the Year Award, sponsored by Huntington Bank. Please welcome their president, Community Bank President and Senior Banker, David Green. Dave.
Thank you, Eric, and good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure on behalf of Huntington Bank to introduce to you this evening the Ambassador of the Year and the Ambassador Team of the Year. I think we all know what the ambassadors do, but just to refresh you a little bit, they are a very critical component of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. They are everywhere. They are easily recognizable in their green jackets that you'll see nowhere else other than the Masters coming up in a week or two. They also show up at ribbon cuttings. They also do brick awards, and they show up at every event you can imagine, including after-hours events and the eye-openers, and they're everywhere. And the Ambassador of the Year and the Ambassador Team of the Year is determined by a point system. So but for participating in various events, they get points for that. They get points for being here tonight, as an example. But they're very important because not only are they the conduit between new members, so that new members get a chance to understand what the benefits of chamber membership are, they're also very helpful to old members like myself, and they tell us where to go, and I'm happy to go there. So having said all that, it is now time to announce to you this year's Ambassador of the Year. She is not a stranger. She's a three-peat. Her name is Kendra Christensen, Vice President of Lending with Kokomo Community Credit Union. Kendra is very pleased that she works for an employer that encourages community involvement. And because of that, she is a 2015 graduate of Leadership Bay County, a 2016 graduate of Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance Institute for Leaders, and has also been involved in Energize, and has also been on the Ambassador winning team for 3 years in a row. So I don't know how they made it without her in 2017, but somehow they did. I'm sure they could have used your points, Kendra. Kendra has always found passion in serving others and her community. She currently holds board positions for the Cool City Car Show, the Deck Advisory Board, the Hop Riot Beer Fest, and the State Theater. She was a 2015 graduate of the Saginaw Township Citizens Police Academy and served as a Bay City Noon Optimist Club president for 2014 and 15. In addition to that, to all those things, she also volunteers for the American Cancer Society, DECA, Midland Chamber of Commerce, Young Entrepreneur Academy, Reading is Bay County's Business and Junior Achievement, and many other events. Please, let's recognize Kendra one more time.
Well, I just want to take a minute and say thank you to all of those who support community relationships, and of course me. I wouldn't be here without my Kapoco leadership, my colleagues, my family and friends, my Ambassador Club members, and of course all of you that choose to support the Chamber as well. So thank you.
And now, just as a way of saying thanks to all of you who have served as ambassadors, if you have served, if you're a current ambassador or you have ever served as an ambassador, please stand and be recognized. Please stand. That's a lot of folks who have done a lot of good work and have made a major contribution to our community. So now we go on to the Ambassador Team of the Year. They are a group of all-stars and are comprised of 6 ambassadors with the highest number of collective points accumulated for the year. They are Jan Schaefer, Future Insurance Agency, Inc., John Mueller, Choice Office Products, Mark Delistovich, Team One Credit Union, Mike Espinoza, Yo & Yo CPA and Business Consultants, Scott Trepakowski, Chemical Bank, and Terry Schuliner, L&M Schuliner, Inc. Would you please come to the podium? We have a little gift for you as a token of your contribution. One more hand, please.
Thank you, Dave. Our next presenter is going to give the Energized Bay Area Youth Professionals Network Award for the year. It's sponsored by McLaren Bay Region. It's the Vice President of Marketing and Business Development in McLaren Bay Region, Megan Seaman. Megan?
Thank you, Eric. Well, it's hard to believe that it's been 10 years since a group of about 12 of us sat around the chamber table and talked about putting together the Energized Young Professionals Network. We really appreciated the guidance of then the board and then Chamber President Mike Seward to allow us the honor to put together a YPN for the Bay Area. And this year, we are very excited to give the award for the Energized Young Professional Network. The YPN Award was established to recognize a YPN member who is an emerging leader in the community, both personally and professionally. The nominee must be an Energized member. This year's YPN member is Tara Jaliga. Tara is the Director of Marketing and Community Impact of the United Way of Bay County. Tara is a lifelong resident of Pinconning, where she lives with her husband Martin, who's here with her today, and her 3 wonderful children. She is a proud alumni of the Pinconning High School area, Delta College, and Davenport University with a degree in business management. Over their years as a professional, Tara has completed many courses in the marketing and communications as well as graphic design field. Tara spent over 10 years at the General Motors Powertrain Company in various areas such as salaried personnel, health and safety, as well as communications. In November 2008, she began her career at the United Way of Bay County as a communications coordinator. Tara has an extensive list of volunteer opportunities, including the drama director at Pinconning High School, treasurer and coach of AYSO, treasurer of, is it PYLO or PILO? Waiting for, yeah, okay. And has spent many hours on the Bay County Task Force with groups such as the Great Start Collaborative, the Bay Area Diaper Council, the Bay County Prevention Network, the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Ambassador Group, Hop Riot, the Bay County Relay for Life, and she has also spent time volunteering for programs such as Reading as Bay County's Business, the Bay Area Community Foundation Scholarship Program, Junior Achievement, Aranet County Queens Pageant, Bay Area mock job interviews, and most recently as the director of the murder mystery, which was held a few weeks ago at the consistory. Tara is a graduate of Leadership Bay County of the class of 2017 and currently serves as this year's advisor. Please join me in recognizing Tara Jaliga as this year's recipient.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled to be standing up here this evening. Bring that up a little bit. When Jesse called me and told me that I was nominated for the Young Professionals Network Award, I thought to myself, don't these people know how old I am? But as I look around this room, I don't see a single person here, no matter what age you are, that doesn't deserve to be standing right up here with me. Because I live in a very strong community, enriched with great leaders that I've been blessed to work with and learn from for many, many years. And I thank you all for being an inspiration to me. I have 3 beautiful children. They motivate me every day. And of course, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without my husband. So thank you very much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Next is the Athena Award, which goes to an outstanding woman in our community. It's sponsored by Frankenmuth Credit Union, and to present it this year, the Business Development Frankenmuth Credit Union, Larry Erlinger. Larry, come on up.
Thank you, Eric. This year, the Athena Award celebrates the 36th anniversary of its national inception. In our own community, Athena was instituted in 1989 to recognize the accomplishments of women who have attained and personified the highest level of professional excellence in business or their profession, or men who have supported women in reaching their fullest potential. This year's Athena recipient is a true visionary leader who is passionate and energetic about Bay County, the Great Lakes Bay region, and improving the personal and professional lives of everyone. She displays that passion and energy not by her words, but by her actions, such as leading an effort to revise Delta College's strategic plan in order to actively promote, advocate, respect, and value differences. She serves on a number of committees where her knowledge and wisdom have allowed her to serve at national levels on the League for Innovation, in the community college and STEM higher education. This year's award winner is Dr. Jean Goodnow. Dr. Goodnow is the president of Delta College, where she has served since 2005. She earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology, a Master of Arts degree in rehabilitation counseling, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Higher Education Administration from the University of Iowa. In addition, she has completed postgraduate study at Harvard University. Once again, please join me in awarding Dr. Jean Goodnow as the 2018 Athena Award winner.
Thank you so much, Larry. I am deeply humbled to have been selected to receive this award from the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. Given for the first time in 1990, this is the 29th time a recipient has been highlighted. That's a lot of big shoes to fill. The Athena Leadership Award was inspired by the goddess of Greek mythology, known for her strength, courage, wisdom, and enlightenment. I strive to reflect those qualities in my life, even if I may fall short now and then. I've also been inspired by my grandmother, Margaret Kinney, who raised me. She was a strong, wise, loving, and very humble woman. These are all valuable traits that we strive to give our Delta College students throughout their educational journey. In the classroom, students gain wisdom and enlightenment, but it's hard for them to pursue their vision for the future without strength and courage. So we work on that as well. And I'd like to pause for just a moment to recognize and thank my great colleagues from Delta College who are here tonight. Would you please stand? It's exciting to take young adults, all adults, through the intellectual growth process. And that's the effort I and many of my colleagues have dedicated our lives to. Tonight's theme is the past, present, and future. Receiving this award tonight in the present has caused me to reflect on my past. I've seen a great deal over my career, including how women are represented in the workplace. For decades, it was a struggle to be heard. Then you had to push to get the credit that you deserved. Much has changed, but there's still work to be done. For women, we should strive to change the future by seeking equal treatment and equal pay for the work that's being done. All of us should embrace that goal, especially on behalf of the younger women in this room. The number of women in the workplace has increased over the decade, but I'm not sure we always appreciate the unique qualities and abilities they bring. Empathy, intuition, emotional intelligence, and optimism. I challenge everyone here tonight to embrace those qualities, whether embodied by men or women, because it will create a healthy and well-rounded workplace. I'm honored to join the many others who received this award before me. That includes my good friends Peggy Rowley, Mitzi Dimiroff, Pam Monastir, and Dee Dee Waxman. But I ask this question, why is there just one man on the list to have been recognized for encouraging women? Congratulations to Jerome Yance, by the way. Early in my career, my community college president, Dr. Selby Ballantyne, became my first mentor. He played an instrumental role in shaping my life of service in education. And I've never forgotten the time that he spent in helping to mold my career. Surely there are many others in our community who also strive to support women in reaching their fullest potential. For those in the audience who have done so, I applaud your efforts. Thank you to everyone in this community who continue to help me do my job every day. I'm honored to have had your friendship, and again, I'm very humbled by this recognition that this award represents. Thank you.
Don't let that award get out of your sight. Past winners have learned that the hard way. Our next award is the 2018 Leadership Alumni Community Service Award, sponsored by Chemical Bank. And here to present it, First Vice President of Commercial Lending for Chemical Bank is Mike Debo. Mike?
Thank you, Eric. Tonight I have the honor to introduce you to the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Leadership Alumni Community Service Award. It was established in 1998 to honor individuals who emphasize the principles of community leadership. Leaders provide the vision, motivation, and skill to plan the future of communities and guide them through difficult times. Tonight, it is my pleasure to present this award to Tara Welch. Tara is the Executive Director of the Studio 23, the Arts Center. She joined the organization in late 2012. Tara graduated from Saginaw Valley State University in 2014 with a double Bachelor of Arts. Tara is involved with numerous communities and boards in Bay City. She currently serves on the YWCA of the Great Lakes Bay Region, the Bay City Downtown Management, Dow Family YMCA, and the Rotary Club of Bay City. And Tara will be taking her role as the president of that club next year. Being active in the community is important to her.
and she is spreading the love for art throughout the community. Tara participated in Leadership Bay County in 2015 and 2016. Her class implemented the street art logo located in front of Winona Park. Visitors are greeted with a bright and colorful sailboat as they enjoy our many festive activities downtown. The following year, Tara was asked to be advisor to the leadership group. This class took part and took the Take a Seat project, which placed over 50 painted chairs in our community. Now in local parks, residents can enjoy our beautiful landscapes while taking a seat. Her professional career has been an asset to Studio 23 by increasing programming, community outreach, and donors. In the past few years, she was able to implement the public murals under the Vets Bridge and start a program outside the studio walls. Art around the city features 29 historical themed photos that were taken in Bay City. Studio 23 partnered with Bay County Historical Museum to gather photos and place them around their downtown and uptown area. It is my honor to present Tara Welch with this year's Leadership Alumni Community Service Award. Congratulations, Tara.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be recognized for this award for community leadership. It's such an honor to be known in Bay City for what you serve and how you serve. I would really like to thank Angel Moore. As you know, this award you have to be nominated for. And I'm glad to say she is my friend, and she stalked my Facebook page to figure out what organizations I was involved with. So if you are my friend and you follow my page, you know what organizations I'm proud to be involved with. So I love Bay City, and I especially love Studio 23. 3.5 short years ago, they took a chance on hiring the young me, and I'm proud to say that we are one of the best art organizations in our area, and we continue to thrive. Without my staff, my board, and my volunteers, this would not be possible. The connections that we've made have made a tremendous impact on our programming, exhibits, and public art efforts. Now you can walk around Bay City and view murals, ship era images, and you can even take a seat on art. And I don't know many communities that you can do that with. All of the people that have been my mentors, cheerleaders, and lended a hand are the people that make my job so much fun. So I encourage everyone to give your time to a local nonprofit. I promise you will always leave feeling better than you were at first, and you will make a tremendous impact on the lives in our community. Service above self is a motto that I'm happy to live by. Thank you.
Next will be the Business Hall of Fame inductees for 2018, and that's sponsored by First State Bank. So to do that presentation, Senior Vice President from First State Bank, Todd Clemens. Todd?
Thank you, Eric. The Business Hall of Fame Award was instituted in 1986 to recognize individuals for their significant contributions to the improvement of the Bay Area, and is the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce most prestigious award. I'm pleased to recognize 2 individuals tonight for their business achievements. Our first honoree this evening has been committed for many years to helping the youth of our community reach their full potential. While never seeking it, his efforts have led to leadership roles in recognition at the state, local, and national levels. Locally, he has served as a member of the Bay City Board of Education from 1989 to 1992, providing leadership during a very challenging period. His involvement with the Boys and Girls Club began locally as a member of the Board of Directors. Soon after, he was spearheading initiatives at the state and national levels. He has served as chairman of the Boys and Girls Club of Bay County, was the first chairman of the Michigan State Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs, the Michigan Area Council Chair, and a member of the Boys and Girls Club of America's Government Relations Advisory Board in Washington, D.C. Nationally, he has been presented the W. Clement Stone Award for his exceptional performance and service in the community, as well as the Jeremiah Milbank National Gold Medallion recipient for the Midwest region for his commitment to the legacy of the Boys and Girls Clubs. Fred Cook has long been associated with the Jim White Lumber Company, a brokerage firm that buys and sells materials to lumber yards, serving as CEO of the company after it was purchased from its original founder, and leading the company through the process of becoming employee-owned, to the success and benefit of the company and its employees. Fred has served in other community organizations, including the United Way and the Bay Area Family Y Board. Fred and his wife Joyce have established scholarships to provide opportunities to students at both Central Michigan University, Fred's alma mater, and Saginaw Valley State University to help students at these area institutions with financial need to realize their educational goals. Fred Cook of Bay City has a long commitment to community service and leadership. Tonight it is my honor to announce his induction into the Business Hall of Fame. Fred, this feels a little like the Oscars. Fred's unable to attend tonight. Bob Thomas will be accepting on his behalf. He's assured us less than 20 minutes.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you, First State Bank, for sponsoring this award. Fred could not be here tonight. He does send his regrets. Something about Bay City, 25 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds, or Naples, Florida, 85, and winds light and variable. But he'll be back at the end of May. He's very proud to receive this award, and he wanted me to pass along this message to everyone in this room. Grow your business, grow the chamber.
Our second honoree this evening is born and raised in Bay City and has spent his entire life giving back to the community that he loves. His many commitments to the arts, education, and community growth keep him involved and invested. After graduating from Bay City Central High School, he attended Ferris State College, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Accountancy, which led him to his first public accounting job with Arthur Andersen in Detroit, Michigan. Dave Mikulasic soon returned to Bay City to practice with Lane Appold and Company, now known as Anders Hooper Pavlik, where he continues to practice. In April of this year, Dave will celebrate his 45 years of practice in public accounting. Dave and his wife Ruth Ann have 3 children, Katie, Carrie, and Jeremy, and are expecting their second grandchild in June. It is my honor to introduce Dave Mikulasic as an inductee into the Business Hall of Fame.
I was chatting with Ryan beforehand, and I told Ryan if he wanted to make a lot of friends in this room, he needs to keep his comments short. And he looked at me and he said, "Practice what you preach." So I do have a few short comments here. I'm honored and overwhelmed to receive this most distinguished award. When I look at the list of past reward recipients, such as William Clements, Charles Coriel, and Joel Hirschfield and others, I am humbled. These individuals were all instrumental in giving direction to the new Bay City. I've been blessed to be able to live and work in Bay City, my hometown. In return, I have always believed that it is my responsibility to do whatever I can to make Bay City a better place for all. Thank you to all who were involved in my nomination selection. I'm very appreciative. Thank you to the leadership and staff of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce for all that you do to make Bay City, the Bay Area, a better place. And I want to tell my wife I have a special thank you to her my wife Ruth Ann, and my family for giving me the flexibility, understanding, and encouragement to pursue my role in making Bay City a better place. Thank you to all that are here.
Well, 400 plus here tonight, and I have the feeling that Ryan's looking at it and feeling like he's pretty proud because this is your first annual meeting, isn't it? It is. Well, come up and tell us about it. Please welcome our President and CEO of the Your Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, Ryan Tarrant. Ryan, congratulations.
Thank you, Eric. Congratulations to all of our winners this evening. Dave, I know it's only 7:20, but they tell me we're out at 8, so sorry to disappoint you. Thank you for being here as we celebrate the 135th annual meeting of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, or as Eric put it, and I've heard around the office, Ryan's first annual meeting, and we'll see how he does. Tonight I have the privilege of introducing our 2018 Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. First, our officers, Barb Englehart Carter, Chair, Mike Stodolak, immediate past Chair, Brent Gettle, Chair-elect and Vice Chair of Public Affairs, Brian Harriga, Secretary-Treasurer, Heather Gallegos, our Vice Chair of Business Assistance and Activities, Jeff Staudiker, Vice Chair of Membership Development, and Ellen Talbot, Vice Chair of Education and Workforce Development. Thank you. And our directors of the board this year, Tom Barnico, Todd Clemens, Jerry Crete, Jean Andeshano, Julie Ellis, Chris Gerard, Deb Kadish, Trevor Keys, Mary Koulis, Mike Lance, Linda McGee, Dr. Lee Newton, Colleen Richards, Bob Thomas, Scott Tripkowski, Andrea Ursi, and Paul Wiese. Thank you. And I want to recognize our chamber team, who've done a wonderful job putting together tonight's program. Leanne Harrison. I don't know where Leanne is, if you could stand. There she is. Jody Lamont. Jesse Pirro. Lindsay Rotarius. Renee Schwartz, and Kate Young. Thank you. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about some national historic events and the progress that's been made here since our first big business organization came to be. We're celebrating our 135th year tonight. But before that, our predecessor, the Bay City Board of Trade, was founded in 1865, the same year Abraham Lincoln was assassinated and the Civil War ended. There was still a West Side Bay City until it was joined with Bay City in 1905. Here we have an old fire map that includes the middle grounds and what's now the Salzburg-Lafayette Bridge. Unless you're originally from Bay City, then that's the Double Hump Bridge. During this time period, a few other notable events took place. We have a lot of business folks in the room, over 400. Harvard and Yale started their first graduate degree programs. And because Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, the government was able to establish the first regulation of utilities. And of course, Mrs. O'Leary's cow started the Great Chicago Fire. So, as I was researching our history, 101 years ago, the Bay City Board of Commerce had this logo and theme. And I think it really shows how far we've come, but also how some things really stay the same. What really struck me in this logo was the shield: labor, agriculture, and capital. Today, We still have a resilient labor force. Our financial institutions are strong, and agriculture remains the second largest economy and industry in Bay County. And the theme of cooperation rings true today, just as it did 100 years ago. Although now we're probably a little more likely to call it collaboration, but not just among the business community. We also collaborate with other community organizations, Bay Future, the Bay Area Community Foundation, the United Way, and the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, just to name a few. You also notice up there the angel driving his chariot in the imaginary race. So apparently the theory was that this represented Bay City in the race among cities when everybody was challenging one another. Speaking of races, 100 years ago, a lot of people were still riding in horse-drawn carriages. Standard travel for a horse-drawn carriage was 10 to 20 miles a day. To put that in perspective, from where we sit here at the DoubleTree in downtown Bay City to the new Delta College downtown Saginaw complex that breaks ground next week is roughly 17 miles. That's a pretty long day on a horse and carriage. In the early 1900s, Michigan didn't even have any speed limits. I know that would make Dow's new Michigan president pretty happy, coming from Germany. Unfortunately, folks back then were driving the old Model Ts with a top-end speed of 40 miles an hour. It's about 18.7 miles to Chemical Bank's Main Street location in downtown Midland. On the poor roads of the day, that's roughly an hour trip. So, unlike 100 years ago, today we all have the opportunity to commute within the region. A number of us probably live in Bay, Midland, or Saginaw, but we commute to another community for work or play. Here in Bay County, we have something that others can't duplicate. We have access to the water. Add to that our thriving downtown, our unique shopping and restaurants, plus the festivals throughout the year. And our community simply needs to put our best foot forward to attract and retain a talented workforce, both young and old. There has to be a plan in here somewhere, right? So I've been here a little over 6 months. Up there circled was my first day. I know Mike always asks, it's 6 months and 2 days, Mike. When I started, my wife, Cheryl, told me two things. First one was, this job's not going to be a cakewalk. Second one is that she'll never call me Mr. President. As usual, she's right about the first one, but I still look forward to coming to work every day, and the second's a work in progress. Now, some of you may remember that first breakfast in September when I spoke and I promised you no PowerPoints early in the morning. Well, tonight, to quote Dikembe Mutombo, no, not today. I didn't make that promise for dinner events. Your board of directors and your chamber team have been incredibly busy over the past 6 months. I wanted to take the opportunity tonight to share some of what we've been doing so that you can join us in the excitement as we move the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce forward. The board spent the past several months identifying some key items that the Bay Area Chamber will use as its vision in everything it does, not just in 2018, but into the next decade. This 5-part vision will make us stronger, not only as a Chamber of Commerce, but as a partner in moving the community forward and improving the quality of life in our beautiful Bay Area. These 5 areas are stronger advocacy, diversity in membership, putting forth a unified business voice, education, and as Barb mentioned, placemaking. While there's still some work to be done, tonight we'll talk about the first 3 pieces of this. First is stronger advocacy. So you'll see another old picture here, and up in the corner there's a little sign that's, I don't know if you can read it, says, no admittance to lobbyists, jobbers, or other objectionable characters. And I just want to point out that at the very top of the page there's a really small word. I actually blew it up on the projector last night to make sure. The first letter there's a P, not an F. But for a lot of people, saying the word lobbyist is a lot like saying a dirty word. There's a lot of ways that you can advocate for something. Recently, we've seen a surge in activity among our young people, both locally and nationally. Or some will advocate directly for change in policy or funding. I think some people will recognize Jeff Larson here. I've gotten to know Jeff a little bit over the past few months with the American Cancer Society, and I couldn't think of a better example when we talk about the horrible perception of lobbyists to highlight than Jeff. The reason is because Jeff's one of the kindest, humblest, and most passionate individuals you could ever hope to meet. Add to that he's advocating for a wonderful cause, and it's pretty tough to think poorly of him. Advocacy should be something that we welcome. As we develop and strengthen our relationships with our elected officials and look to collaborate with others on items like an economic competitiveness agenda for Bay County, or to measure and promote a business-friendly index to support economic growth, I'm looking at you on those last two, Trevor. We'll be identifying positions where the Bay Area Chamber's voice can make a positive impact to the community. To do this, and to continue to thrive, we will need an increased concentration on diversity in our membership. While we still work tirelessly to recruit and retain members from all business sectors, we'll also support a climate for historically underrepresented businesses to grow and thrive. This includes our entrepreneurs, and we couldn't be luckier than to have CMURC here in the Bay City to foster entrepreneurship and leadership in the community. We will work with current and future members, young and old, to map a pathway from our highly successful, energized young professionals network to becoming our next generation of active, engaged members and chamber leaders. And we will recruit our board membership and volunteers to increase our diversity. One person that I wanted to give a special thanks to tonight is Scott Tripkowski, who you see on your screen. So a lot of you probably know, you've heard his name a couple of times tonight. Scott's actively involved in a number of chamber activities. He's a youth leadership mentor, he's an ambassador, he's our current YPN chair, and a Bay Area Chamber board member. But something I found out after a recent meeting, Scott actually went back and went a little bit over and above on the membership front. He was actively making some calls to former members to try and recruit them to come back, and he actually had a pretty good rate of success. I wanted to thank him for his effort and for everything he does for the chamber. Thanks, Scott. Our investment in our member services will include an engagement plan, complete with consistent feedback opportunities, so that you, our members, can provide us with the information we need to continue to improve everything we offer that educate the community, our members. These increased membership goals, with the benefit of an improved member communication plan, will allow us to have a stronger, more unified voice. And everyone in this room is welcome to give us and Scott a hand as we move forward recruiting new members. The Bay Area Chamber of Commerce will continue to diligently pursue these efforts, along with an increased concentration on education, including higher ed. I saw a lot of our university folks here. I want to make sure that we include you. And placemaking, so that we have the talented workforce our members need to continue to grow and thrive. Everyone's in a little bit different situation here, but we ask that you join us in these efforts by committing your individual and company resources as you are able. I know I was not able to recognize everyone tonight, and all of you have helped us get this far. But if you're able to contribute your time to serve on a committee or simply to provide feedback to the chamber, please do so. If you haven't already sponsored a key program or event, now's the time. And if you ever have a question or concern, don't hesitate to call or text me. Thank you for being with us tonight to celebrate our 135th annual meeting. Now, I'd like to welcome back to the stage our illustrious past chairman, Mike Stodolak, with our featured sponsor, Independent Bank, to close out the meeting and I think announce a raffle winner.
I think I have it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Not bad for 6 months and 2 days. Pretty good. On behalf of my coworkers at Independent Bank, we are a proud co-sponsor of tonight's annual meeting. As one of the oldest chamber members, Independent Bank values the activities and what the chamber does. And it's nice to see, like Ryan said, how the more things change, the more they stay the same. You look at the logo 100 years ago, it's a lot what we're headed to now. So we want to move forward, and I certainly want to thank everything Ryan and the staff are doing. Let's give them another round of applause. It's also not lost on me that I'm the only thing between you and the door, or you and your auction item. So I'm going to keep it brief. I do have the raffle winner, so if you have your red ticket, look at it. It's 8891566. And it's for a raffle of a bunch of goodies, good stuff. I don't think the president's wife can win. Does anybody have it? The last three digits are 566. No? Let me read it again. 8891566.
I got it.
All right, Mike. So that will really conclude tonight's meeting. But before we break, let's give the DoubleTree and the staff a round of applause for a great service, great winner. Tonight's extra special for me because as past chair, I also want to thank my board of directors. So thank you for all the support you gave me. So with that, winners for auction items will be out in the far corner in the Winona room. They accept cash, check, and credit cards. So with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.